14. Hello and welcome to another of our Wild Box recipe videos, and this one is for Meadowsweet Panna Cotta with cherries. And we're actually going to do it two ways, one vegan and one non-vegan, and slightly different method. So for the vegan one we have soya milk and soya cream as the base, and then for a setting agent we've got these agar-agar flakes. That's actually a seaweed extract, and it's in fact a seaweed that we have on our shores. We call it false carrageenan. We've got some sugar there. This is less sugar than you would normally use in a panna cotta. I'm on a general trajectory to move away from consuming too much sugar. That's reflected in the recipe. And then we have some cherries, black cherries, which I've stoned and halved, and they're going to go on top of the panna cotta at the end. Also, we have some wood sorrel here, which is just going to be a very pretty little garnish, but also adding an extra bit of sourness to the dish. And then, of course, the all-important meadowsweet here. This will be infused into the milk and the cream in both cases, and I've picked the flowers off the stems. It's a kind of more accurate way of measuring them, so it's by weight of picked flowers. Over here we've got cow's milk and cow's cream, and as a setting agent we've got the standard gelatin leaves there, which I've just soaked to get them ready for cooking. Sugar again. So the basic methodology is to infuse the flavouring of the meadowsweet, and then we put the gelling agent in, and then there's obviously things have got to set overnight. And we have one that we made earlier in both cases. There's the cow's milk one and the soya milk one there. It takes a few hours, needs to cool down and set, and then we add the cherries and the final garnish. Okay, so first things first, we need to get the meadowsweet infusing. And again, we've got the cow's milk here, soya milk there, and to each of those we're going to add our 2 grains of meadowsweet flowers, and also the 30 grams of sugar. And we're just going to bring that up to the boil and then let it simmer. Okay, so now this just needs to be left to infuse for about half an hour. Okay, so we've let this infuse nicely now. I'm just going to sieve it back in the pan, minus meadowsweet flowers, or should I say pans. I mean, there's an alternative, slightly less delicate way of doing this, which is just to blitz the meadowsweet in, which is the approach we took with the pineapple weed the other week. So it's up to you if you want to do that. There's obviously going to be slight texture to flowers in there. Okay, so next we're going to add our leaf gelatin, which has been pre-soaked, to the cow's milk one, and the agar-agar to the soya milk one. And this is where the ways divide somewhat. So we really don't want this one to boil. If you boil gelatin, it's quite likely not to set properly. Whereas the only way you're going to get this agar to dissolve is to just boil the heck out of it. So that's already dangerously close to boiling point, so I'm just going to slosh it around. This one, it takes a good 5 minutes or so to get those flakes to dissolve. But that's alright, that gives me time to take care of this one. Okay, so while the agar-agar is dissolving there, it's just bubbling away nicely, and I'm stirring it occasionally. So now I'm going to pour the cold cream into the warm mixture containing the dissolved gelatin, and that needs to be in that order. So cold into hot. Okay, so now we're going to pour into our moulds, but just before that it's worth mentioning you might want to check your quantities of liquids just before pouring and top it up to the original 300 ml if need be. You're going to have lost some liquid with the boiling of the agar-agar mixture, and when you were infusing the Meadowsweet as well, it may have lost some of the liquid for the milk version. So there's that one, and then just to add the cream into this one, the soy cream. It's got a bit hot now. Just a final stir, and in she goes. So now that will obviously go in the fridge, cool down and set overnight. So now it just remains to top the 2 panna cottas with some cherries, fairly unceremoniously. There we go. And also with a little bit of wood sorrel. Now this is obviously quite pretty, technically falls into the category of a garnish, but it's not just a pretty face as it were. It's definitely adding a good acid zing to the dish, and also a little bit of texture with these lovely stalks, which I would say is the best part of the wood sorrel. So there we are, Meadowsweet Panna Cottas with cherries and wood sorrel. Number 13.